Hi, I'm Dale. I'm pretty horrible on camera. I don't do this, but I'm pretty decent in the shop. Yeswelder sent me a welder to test, and they sent it to me and said honest review. We're gonna see how honest I can be about this. I hate the little videos that people make about like just little test samples and little 2-inch welds and stuff and say it's a great welder. I've got a real project. We're gonna try this. This is something that you would actually like need a welder like this for. So the project is we're going to weld a new tongue on a buddy's trailer. So I've got everything prepped and ready and cleaned up. We're gonna see how this rolls. We're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna start setting it up. I'm gonna run flux core because this does not have the ability to run gas. So it's inner shield. So it's a flux core welder, and to run flux core, you hook your negative up to your positive. Don't ask, that's just how it rolls. Down nice and tight. A loose electrical connection is bad. Wire feed gun, which, oh, it's down there. There we go. And then your trigger wire. It screws in
right in the middle of those two.
Right in there. I am for now going to plug this into an extension cord on 110. This is kind of a worst case scenario. You don't want to do this if you don't have to. To give this a good chance, I'm going to use a professional quality wire. This is Matheson. This is the mild steel self-shielding, which is flux core. So it should run on this welder really nice. I'm going to start getting this set up, put the wires in. Straight out of the box, there's a crack in it.
Oh dear gosh.
And the packaging, I've got videos of the packaging. So
there wasn't any holes in the packaging or anything?
No, it was packaged really well. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. It's a little cosmetic thing. It does not matter. This holds the roller for the wire in place, and I went to double check and make sure the wire was on the right side. It was on the right side for 035, but in order to put this sucker in, you can't put it in unless this is open. And then it just, we'll pull our wire back a little tiny bit. It sets down in there, locks in just like that. It's kind
Do it again.
But nothing can...
Everything, this has to be open, this has to be open.
Nothing can be in the way of this. Okay. Everything has to be in the way.
Throw it
sets
on.
Down, locks in.
Then that
goes. You can roll your wire in. And then that goes on there and holds it in place.
And then the, yeah, okay. Matt, imagine if you had to change that by yourself.
It was, well, it probably just rolls.
For the record, there's 1, 2, 3 of us here.
It probably just...
This is Zach.
There you go. Add some tension. Okay. Let's get our lead straight, just like we would in a running machine. Working on getting this thing set up, and it just... Let's see what we got.
What does that sound? There it goes.
And the tip died.
Is that a Yeswelder tip?
Yeah, yeah. This is a tip from a Lincoln welder, or a Miller welder. This is a tip from the Yeswelder. The threads aren't the same, so I'm sure you can probably get a tip like this at your welding supply shop, but it's not what I would call a standard tip. The shortness of it, the length of them has nothing to do with it. It's the threads don't line up, so I can't screw this into this gun. I'm gonna try and clean this out and see if I can get it to work. Cool. Okay, so I've been playing with it for a minute and kind of got it, I don't know, sort of figured out. The screen is a digital screen and they're proud of it. I don't care about digital screens. It doesn't matter to me. I'd really rather have just a couple knobs. One for wire speed, one for my amps. That's your voltage, whatever. I've got it turned all the way up. This is as high as it goes, is 3.0. I have no idea what that means.
3.0 volts.
So,
also, I made an observation while you were doing that. The touch screen you poo-poo on them and naysay the touch screens or the screens, and I found a viable reason. Every time, I don't know if you noticed, every time you adjusted something, you had to take your gloves off to adjust something.
Oh yeah.
Did you think about that?
Nope.
Yep.
Did not think about
Every
that.
single time you had to take your gloves off. I was like,
so,
I get it, knobs.
This isn't a touch screen. This isn't a touch screen, but
it's
these
got little
buttons,
tiny little buttons.
The buttons are, yeah, you have to take your gloves off to find them. The wire speed I've got is on like 270. It goes all the way up. I'm running big wire and I had to turn it down a ways, which isn't a bad thing. I'm running the biggest wire you can put in it, which is the 030 Flux-core inner shield. The machine is turned all the way up. I've got it turned down, the wire speed turned down where it seems to be burning in halfway decent. I hate that people do these projects and just do like 2-inch little welds. We're going to actually do a project here and see what I think about it. So we're going to try it and see what happens.
Oh yeah, that's a big old honker of a weld, dude.
Well, we need big old honker welds. This is trailer.
That's a honker of a weld, dude.
I'm gonna burn this baby in, I said.
What do you think about that weld, the initial weld?
I don't know, we'll brush it and see what happens.
Okay.
Actually, I should brush that. I should brush that before.
Where's the toothbrush? Doable?
It's looking doable.
As a layperson, as a common man, that looks really good to me. But I'm also a common man.
That's why you're common.
Yeah, I only have an hour of experience on Flux-core. But it does everything my machine does plus one more thing, which is Flux-core. Yeah.
Because so I'm one more better than you.
Okay, I'll edit that out. I'll tell you that much right now.
Cut. I'm super curious to find out how long this thing will burn without freaking overheating.
Yeah. I mean, you went a good 30 seconds on that first weld.
Yeah.
So how is it now, in my limited conception of Flux-core welding, there's no shielding gas, right?
Correct.
So how come your welds don't have a bunch of bull crap in it, like when I do, even when I do the shielding gas and mess up, and it gets like the holes and stuff in it? Porosity.
Oh, the porosity?
How come yours doesn't have that?
I was struggling with porosity with this welder till I turned the wire speed down a lot. I was getting okay welds, but I was having porosity. So I turned the wire speed down a lot and just slowed down a lot, and now I'm not having issues with porosity.
So it's a possibility with Flux-core welding with no shielding gas to get a weld that does you don't need gas.
No, the inside this is kind of like a flux that shields it. That's why we got so much smoke in the shop.
Oh.
But it's the really good thing about Flux-core is you can do this outside in the wind. You can have a fan blowing directly on you.
Because there's no,
and
it's like arc welding
there's
kind
no
of.
gas. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care.
What have we taught you today, Dale? Anything?
Not to be a YouTuber. Teach Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be influencers.
Holding it a little close, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I was. Towards the end, I was like holding towards the tip of it.
Yeah, no, that's 40. Where you
40.
I didn't have real high hopes for this, honestly. It really worked pretty well. I burnt in, that machine's turned all the way up, and I made big welds, burnt the welds in, and just let it burn. and the welds came out pretty decent, I think. I'm confident in the strength of them. I was using good wire. I had my machine set up and it ran really hot and really good. I made the welds down through here, on the sides, and across the top. They all look really good. So would I use that on a daily basis? No, because I've got big machines that do real work. This is the type of project that you would do on your own in your garage on a weekend, and if you're on a budget, that's a good machine.
And price is?
Oh, the prices. Yeah, the prices, actually I said $135 earlier. I just looked it up as $150, $149. For $149, now you don't get any consumables, you don't get any wire, you don't get anything. And I would go buy, honest to God, buy the best wire you can find. Go to a welding supply shop and buy good wire. Consumables, you're gonna have to see, because as we found out with the other tip, with the Lincoln tip, that's going to be kind of one of those things where it's kind of tricky to make sure you have consumables for. I haven't looked for them, I haven't had to, but you might see if the Yeswelder machine tips work with something else, or you might be able to just find the Yeswelder tips on Amazon, buy a big pack. You're going to need them. So I'm not mad about it. I was really surprised. I'm pretty happy with how the welds came out, and like I said, this is kind of one of those projects that somebody would need this type of welder for, and I'm happy with how it came out. I'm happy with this. I think it's a good piece of equipment. I didn't have any issues. I'm not saying every single one of these is going to be perfect, but for 150 bucks it's worth a chance. I need to eliminate a bunch of ums. I'm a football player.
Stick to the
game
script.
went real well. We scored more points than the other team. The comments are a good place to get a hold of me. If you need anything, have any questions, I check them fairly regularly. I might not get back to you in a minute or two, but I'll get back to you. I'll pin the link as the top comment, so it's super easy to find, because finding the link can be kind of tricky if you don't have it. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, you know, do that YouTube thing. I appreciate it. Thank you.